My Hydrotrac that's back here in the back, that one, I'm in the process of reassembling it with most of the original parts to sell it. As much as I like Hydrotracs, I really don't like them just as much. It runs and drives good. The hydro on it is actually really good. It doesn't whine a lot unless you're going really, really fast, which is kind of normal with those. When you push the clutch in, it returns back to neutral, but it still creeps a little bit. So there's a little bit of wear in some of the linkages, but overall that's in pretty good shape. But so I said my plan with this hydro is to put it pretty much back to factory original stock. I had swapped in an SS16 battery tray on this thing, and that motor's off like a 73 or 74 ST12, so it's a geared starter motor. I'm keeping that motor. I have another Tecumseh that I'm going to put on this thing. I will probably end up pulling the dash and the wiring harness back out of this just because I need those for another project. So it's kind of going to get pieced together with stuff. It'll run. I might not even put a starter generator on it because I'm not sure I have a good one anymore. I might just make it pull start with a rope for now, just to get it running, so if somebody wants to test drive it and buy it, they can. But let's get started on this guy first. We'll see how far I can get. You can see I already swapped the tires over. These are the wheels and tires that'll go on it when I sell it. I will probably take the pan seat off of it because I need that for another tractor. Well, that took me about 20 minutes to do a complete deconstruct of pulling the motor, the whole wiring harness, the dash, the steering wheel off. Now I can start putting it back together with the original parts. Like I said, it's kind of going to be a piece together machine. I think it may end up with an Onan or an ST12, a newer style front end on it, just because I don't have a lot of older parts left. I have one 66 grill that I don't have a hood for, and I have another 68 grill, and actually the hood that came off of this, but they're in decent shape, and I'd kind of like to keep them for another project. So this is probably going to end up getting pieced together with whatever I have laying around. So I think I have like a 74 or a 76 ST12 hood and grill and dash that I'll probably end up putting on this, and then just kind of piece it back together, get it running. It's not going to be 100% back together. It's going to be a rolling project. It'll run, it'll drive, but it's not going to be complete. So let's see about putting it back together now. Each revival dream.
spot. Motorsports in gears and smoke. Cranky crew with iron spoke. Life in metal hands find peace. Sweat and tears in every piece. Past is calling loud and clear. Till the last bolt in last gear.
Well, this is going together pretty well. Like I said, the motor is probably not going to have a starter generator on it for right now. Whoever buys this or trades me for it, I will give them all the parts I have. I have a starter generator for it, but I think it's bad. And I have the wiring with the voltage regulator. The ignition switch that was on this tractor was junk when I got it. It wouldn't shut the engine off. So I'm going to rig it up as best I can to run properly. I have to swap a carb onto this. I have a known good carb that I'm going to put on it. And this motor was actually a replacement engine. It's got somewhere right here, has a little tag on here. Not exactly sure. It says, it was either a replacement or it was a rebuild. It says like SBH227A7189E. And this is a much newer motor than the tractor, probably from the 70s or 80s. It does have the tag on here, but it's a 143-582-062, serial number 8124, I think. I'm not going to bother looking it up. You can see how clean the valve is in there. I traded this engine for something. I don't remember what. I traded a tractor. Oh, I traded like some Murray riding mower that I had that ran pretty good for this motor and a 48-inch deck a few years ago, and I basically shot carb cleaner in this thing and it fired right up. So I know this engine ran good the last time. I got to find the screen for the pulley on this and get it all rocking and rolling. But this will be a rope start engine. It's good enough for the hydro. Once it's running good. Then I just need to find a way to kill it. So I might just put a toggle switch on the dash. Now the motor's bolted in place, and this one has a shusher in it. It actually, I think one of the baffles inside is loose. Somebody had punched some extra holes in this thing, I think, to keep the baffle from moving and to let a little bit more exhaust out of it. But it is a shusher. I was going to take it off, but honestly, again, it's got a little rattle to it, so I'm going to leave it on. Yeah, this thing's just about ready. I got to swap a carb on it, like I said. Now, I've talked about a washer hack before. So if you have these new style Tecumseh carburetors or the replacement cheap Chimerican ones, they don't have a big flange on the inlet side where it bolts up to the block. It's basically level with the bowl. So what I do is, again, this is a 1-inch ID hardware washer, and you can tell I basically cut it down to the shape of a gasket. So I use a gasket as a template, trace it out, drill the 2 holes that bolted onto the block, and then cut it down to the rough size of the gasket. And now that works as a spacer up here on the motor. So if you don't have those aluminum Tecumseh spacers, again, a 1-inch washer works great. They're about $1 a piece as opposed to spending 20 or 30 bucks on the actual Tecumseh one. I do this all the time and it works great. The only thing you got to remember, you need a gasket on the engine side and you need a gasket on the carburetor side. So instead of having 1 gasket, you got 2, but that's pretty simple.
Cranky crew with iron spoke. Scrap to flesh, rebuilding night. Midnight oil, fist clenched tight. History saves in engine growl. Cranky motors, rebel sound. Cranky motors, oh so fire. With each revival, dreams aspire. Motorsports in gears and smoke. Cranky crew with iron spoke. Life in metal hands find peace. Sweat and tears in every piece. Past is calling loud and clear. Till the last bolt in last.
Ah, you piece of crap. Such is the Tecumseh life. Sometimes they run beautifully, and some days they just don't want to start. Well, pull starting a motor with a pulse pump is not that fun either, so. Ah. runs and drives good now. So I'm gonna finish putting the grill on this thing and the hood, and I think that's gonna do it. I gotta find a different seat to put on it because I want to keep the seat, and then it'll be for sale. All the leftover parts are gonna go with it. Like I said, I got the starter generator, most of a wiring harness, voltage regulator and stuff like that for the Tecumseh, but largely it's done. I mean, it's just one of those things. I've had 2 or 3 hydros. I always think they're cool, but then I use them, I drive them around, and you just don't quite get the same amount of power out of a hydro that you do out of a geared tractor. So I always fall back to the geared ones. That's why I have so many of them, and those are the ones that I'm going to keep. So this guy will be for sale. Let me finish throwing it together. I'll put the cover back on the trans tunnel and then the front grill on, and this will be ready to go. So stand by. Well, it's as done as it's going to get for me. I got the trans tunnel cover put back on. I got a different seat put on it. This one is going to stay on it. You know, it's custom. Got a little bit of love and touches here from the old Gorilla brand tape. No good tractors without Gorilla tape on the seat. Taillight's there, but doesn't work because there's no wiring. And I had to put some Gorilla tape on the dash because I was closing the hood, and that is a very brittle dash. Anybody who's ever had a 76 to 79 Sears Suburban tractor knows that those dashes are very brittle. Well, when I closed the hood, the left side of the dash cracked, so I had to put some tape on that guy to keep it together. I have to put just a couple of brackets on the PTO pulley to keep the belt on. I don't have the actual belt pulley cover for this one, but I do have the little L brackets that bolt on so the belt won't fall off. I got the hood set up so that the cable catch works, so the hood won't be snapping forward and breaking. And this this nose cone is, I thought it had been repaired, but it's like unbroken. I'm not sure I want to sell this one on the tractor, but you know, it's already on there, and believe it or not, I have like 3 or 4 unbroken nose cones right now. So yeah, the hood, I mean, it's not really made for this tractor, so it doesn't close properly exactly all the time, really, ever, but it does close. But there it is. That's the 68 Hydro 12 that is now turned into like a 74, 75 nose with rope start only right now because I didn't put the electric start and everything back in. But let's go ahead and see. It's been sitting for a good half hour. Let's see if it'll pull start again, and then I'll go ahead and drive it away into the sunset, finish up this video, because this video is long, way too long for my liking. Let's see, where did I put my old starter here? Oh yeah, good old rope start. I'm not touching the choke or the throttle. I have my transmission in neutral, or my detent lever pulled up. Give this guy 2 wraps of the rope, make sure my fuel is on, which it is. Can't argue with that. once again, that's going to do it for another edition of Cranky Motorsports. I didn't get nearly as much done today as I wanted to, but I got that tractor completely ready to go. Anybody that wants to buy it, it's up for sale. But it runs, it drives, everything seems to work pretty good on it, so it's ready to go. Thanks again for watching. Have a great night. God bless America. Make sure you get out there and tractor and just have a good time.